morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and today I want to talk about Pokémon TCG Pocket. It is my favourite time in Pokémon TCG Pocket. There's a new drop event. I love when there's a new drop event. New drop events make me very happy. We have an Alcremie drop event, and I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to tell you about all the promos, which ones are new, which ones are alternate art, which ones you should be looking for, and then I'm going to give you some deck lists that you can use to smash this event. And I think I do have a deck list for this one where you can smash this event. Sound like a plan? Excellent. Now, of course, the Alcremie here is the big card we're looking for, and it's bootyful. It is just a reprint of the Alcremie that came around in Eevee Grove. Not saying that's particularly a bad thing, just saying that it's an alternate art, a reprint of the one from Eevee Grove. And it's got that, well, the Sweets deck, Sweets Overload. 40 damage for each time your Pokemon use Sweets Rally during this game. That's going to be very important when we look at deck lists in a minute, because essentially if you let your opponent use Sweets Rally multiple times, they are going to be doing gigantic damage. Speed is of the essence. We'll get to deck lists in a minute, but just at the outset here, speed is of the essence. And then of course, that deck works with stuff like Swirlix, which has got Sweets Relay 10 damage, but 20 more if your opponent used Sweets Relay during their last turn. And then Slurpuff, that's 30 damage, but 60 more if one of your Pokemon used Sweets Relay during your last turn, etc. Okay, cool. Now, in terms of the other ones, we do have two brand new cards here, one of which is Dragonair. Brand new, mechanically unique Dragonair, never been seen before. We got 100 HP and single energy heal 30. Is it any good? Maybe. It's nominally probably the best one. The one from Genetic Apex has 100 HP and it's got free energy 80. I like the 80, but not the free energy. And then the one from Eevee Grove has 2 energy 60, which is a bit better, but goes down to 90 HP. So I think nominally this probably is the best Dragonair. But I'm saying that in the context of I don't really love any of them. But the fact that it's got the joint highest HP, it's got a single energy attack, it can do some healing to keep you rolling. Yeah, maybe it's the best one of them. I don't feel too strongly. We also have a new Ordino, brand new, mechanically unique, and it's got 100 HP, 2 energy, 40 damage, heal 10. Okay. Now, of course, this isn't an evolving Pokemon like Dragonair, so it's not like we're looking for the best one that we can use as an evolution stage here. It's a basic you're just using on its own. It's not that great. There is actually a decent Ordino in Eevee Grove. 2 energy, 20 damage for each of your bench Pokemon. So hopefully 2 energy, 60. It's alright. It's not amazing, but it's not too bad. Old school players like doing the wave, alright? But the point here is, because it's not an evolution Pokemon like Dragonair, there's not a situation where you have to play it, so I don't know. It's fine. Elsewhere, we've got an alternate art of Vanillite here. This is your 60 HP, and it does have Sweets Relay as well. 10 damage, 20 more if somebody used Sweets Relay last turn. Adore the artwork on this promo by Oyama. It is phenomenal. I'll let you choose which one you like more. And then we got Jolteon, which is again an alternate art from Eevee Grove. They tend to be. I love this Jolteon. I think this Jolteon is great. Single energy, 40 damage, but if it evolved this turn, it does 20 more. I love this. Turn 1, if you go first, your opponent has a turn but can't evolve, and then on your second turn, you're doing 60 damage. Big fan of this Jolteon. Love this Jolteon. Artwork-wise, I don't really love Irony artworks, honestly, but I do like the card. Okay, so what are we doing about this event? How are we smashing this event? Well, if we look at the big Pokemon you're going to be going after, we've got your Alcremie that's got 80 HP and a weakness to metal. We've got Vanillish that's got 80 HP and a weakness to metal. And we've got Slurpuff, which is your big boy here, which has 120 HP and a weakness to metal. Worth noting that the basics here, at least at Expert, all have 50 or 60 HP. So there's an obvious best Pokemon here, and it's Skarmory. Skarmory is one of my favorite Pokemon in Pokemon Pocket. I think Skarmory is fantastic. But here, Skarmory just becomes absolutely busted. It's got single energy, 20 damage, but if it's got a tool attached, it does 50. And then with weakness, it does 70. So essentially what you're doing here is getting a one-hit KO on all of those basics. Huge fan of this Skarmory. Worth noting this was available as a promo in the past as well, so you should all have a couple copies of this Skarmory, although the regular art by Kato is, as far as I'm concerned, the optimal of the artworks. And the goal here is like super simple: get your Skarmory, get a tool on, smash. And as far as I'm concerned, we've actually got 3 tools here that are doing the trick. I'm just playing 6 tools. I found 6 tools to be enough. I think Giant Cape is an absolute given. Gives you extra HP, gives you that extra survivability. So this is one that, as far as I'm concerned, this one's going in. Getting that extra HP is beautiful. Also love Rocky Helmet and Poison Barb. Now, these two do a very similar thing. They do extra damage when you get attached. Rocky Helmet does 20 damage, Poison Barb poisons them, but does at least 10 damage. The reason I like this is because we've got things like Vanillish, which has got 80 HP, and Alcremie that's got 80 HP. And I'm often doing 70 damage. And 70 damage isn't quite enough, so I need that extra 10 damage. Yes, you absolutely can play Giovanni here. Giovanni's a nice little card for this deck, because it'll get you from 70 up to 80. Most of the time, you don't really need it. I'd rather just play Rocky Helmet and Poison Barb. They are generally my go-to tools here. So essentially, I'm getting that extra 10 damage I need, but I'm also getting the extra tools in my deck, so Skarmory's going to work a little bit more often. But do bear Giovanni in mind. And an awful lot of the time, I'm playing Skarmory here. Skarmory's my boy. What have we got in terms of a partner? Although there is an argument here to not play this with a partner. You can just play straight Skarmory. It's not how I'm playing it generally, but that is an option. I'm playing it with Excadrill. Now, full disclosure, I adore Excadrill. One of my favourite Pokemon. I'm always generally going for Excadrill. But it's single energy 50. Now, I've already said why 50 is great here, because you add the weakness, you're going up to 70, and then with stuff like Rocky Helmet and Poison Barb, which you absolutely can just put on Excadrill as well, you're getting all these KOs. But what we've got here is, you go first, your opponent has a turn, and then you can evolve, attach an energy, and go. Yes, I know Skarmory can do 50 damage as well, but here you don't have to have the tool, and you get an extra 30 HP, so big fan of Excadrill here. I adore Excadrill. I think it is phenomenal. And here's the thing. Remember what I said about Alcremie? There are a bunch of bigger cards you can use here, but if you let your opponent use Sweet's Overload a couple of times, then it's going to be one-hit KOing everything with Alcremie, and that's a bit of a problem. You know, Probopass, for instance, is kind of fun here. 160 HP, 90 damage. But I don't want to use Probopass because it's just a little bit too slow. And then if I'm giving my opponent a chance to build up with Alcremie, that's how I can get into trouble. Dialga EX, exactly the same deal here. As much as I love it, again, it's just that little bit too slow. And I'm giving my opponent an opportunity to get Alcremie up and rolling, and I'm putting 2-point Pokemon in the firing line, etc., etc. It's not the kind of thing I want to do. I have played a bunch of games this morning with Skarmory Excadrill, and this deck wins like pretty much every time. The only issues I've found, I haven't actually lost yet, but the only times I've been a little bit worried are because I'm only playing 4 basic Pokemon, and occasionally you just don't draw a second Pokemon. That's it. That's my only real worry. The thing that this deck does is it takes points fast. so it doesn't give Alcremie a chance to get rolling. Now, here is my current deck list that I'm using at the moment. I love this list. This is a list that I'm personally rolling, and it is working for me beautifully. You'll notice here it's exactly what I've said. The only things I haven't mentioned are 2 Pokeball, 2 Professor's Research. Come on, I'm playing 2 of these in every deck. Pokeball gets basics, Research draws 2 cards. I'm playing 2 Pokemon Communication to up my odds of getting a turn 2 Excadrill. And I'm playing 2 X Speed so that if I start Drillbur and I'm going second, or I can't find an Excadrill, I can get it out of the active to whack Skarmory up and get rolling. I'm only playing 6 tools here. I don't think you need any others. Leftovers, if you do want another tool, is the answer. I don't think you need any more tools here. I did briefly consider this list. You'll notice it's exactly the same, but I've taken out Pokemon Communication for Cyrus. But I want the extra consistency from Pokemon Communication. Cyrus is great if you hit and they retreat, but you're taking KOs so fast here, I don't think Cyrus is important. I'm going for Pokemon Communication. Now, I did feel mean only giving you 1 deck here, so I'm going to give you 1 more, and there's basically 2 cards that are important. It's Ultra Necrozma, which you may notice is a promo, and then Lucamine. These are the 2 relevant cards. You take out Excadrill, you whack in these. And the argument here is Duskmane Necrozma does 100 damage, and it'll 1-hit KO, for instance, Slurpuff, which has 120. Now, essentially what you do here is you have Skarmory in the early game, and when your opponent starts KOing Skarmory, Lucamine will help you accelerate energy to Duskmane Necrozma, and then that can come in and sweep to win the game at the end. That's it. That's the deck. I don't like it as much as the Excadrill deck. I don't think you most of the time need to be hitting 100 for free energy. I want the speed here, and I think Duskmane Necrozma is just not as fast. It's also a bit annoying because then you kind of have to play Leaf, because you can start with Duskmane Necrozma, and then it's just a terrible starter. So I don't like this anywhere near as much as I like the Excadrill deck, but I couldn't just come and give you 1 deck list. That felt a little bit weird. So here is the list. You can see where we're going with this. And this list is fine. This list will win. I just don't think it's as good as the Excadrill list. And then I might as well give you 1 more list here. It's just Origin Form Dialga. It's basically the exact same thing we're doing with Duskmane Necrozma. Free energy 100. The only real difference here is we don't need to play Lucamine because we can't. So we're mucking around with like Cyrus, because we've got a bit of extra space in the deck. But once again, it's got a retreat cost of 2. It's a bad starter. We have to play Leaf. I don't think it's as good. You want my advice? Just play Skarmory Excadrill and enjoy your wins. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you've been playing and winning with. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon Pocket and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Zarek Peris, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.